Hello, good noon, good afternoon. It is TNT Tuesday Noon Training. This is your fearless leader, Cheryl Banks, coming to you live from the lab, Missouri City, Texas, suburb of Houston, Texas. I'm excited to be here. I was just thinking and praying and about what we could bring to the table today for training, and I just came up some things that have been on my mind and my heart and some key things that we need to do to know to ask ourselves to become successful, to get on the right track for success. Okay. So are you ready? Do we have enough light here? Let's see. Is the lighting good? I feel like it's dark in here. Okay, so I'm excited, and I wanted to start with one word. The one word that we're going to start with is focus. 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 And I feel like, hold on, I'm getting it together, y'all. I know I didn't sit here before, but get a little higher. Okay, focus. Focus. Follow one course until successful. Hey, Patty Payne Hager, how are you? So, focus. I hope I'm in the right group. This is the Banks Believers group, right, Patty Payne? I hope I'm not streaming in the wrong group. Let me check. Okay, let's check because Patty Payne's on here. So, I have to check to make sure. Hold, please, 1 second. Yeah. Okay, I'm in Banks Believers. Okay, there you go. All right, so these are the questions that we have to ask ourselves. And the first question I'm going to ask is, what one goal? So I don't care what business you're in, whatever you're doing, what is the one thing in your business goal that consumes you? What is it, the one thing? Like if I said, what are you working for? It just comes out of your mouth before I finish the sentence. Do you have one thing like that in your business? Because that is the one thing that's going to possess you, that you need to become, that you're obsessed about, that's probably going to come true. If I ask you, what is that one thing? And you say, I'm working on becoming a director within 3 months or 6 months, or I'm working on a pink Cadillac, or whatever that is, I hope you have the one thing. So look at everything you want in your business, whatever business you're in, and pick out the one thing that when you make that happen, you know that all of these other things are going to happen. So pick that. Okay, so that is question number one. I didn't really number my questions, but now that I'm looking at them, I'm going to number them. The second question is your perception of yourself holding you back? We are controlled by the perception of ourselves and our capabilities. For instance, if you were told all your life that you weren't smart, you weren't pretty, you weren't good enough, if you're told that enough, you're going to have faith in that, because faith comes by hearing. Okay? It's fake faith. It's not real, but it takes over in our brains and it runs rampant. So if your perception of yourself is not good, I feel like with my kids, I constantly tell them that they can be, do, have anything they want if they're willing to pay the price for it. You have everything it takes. You have everything in your toolbox to make this happen. But are you going to make it happen? You know, you can't be lazy. You can't be this and this. You have to know that it's going to happen and own it. So, what's your perception of yourself? Ask yourself, what's my perception of myself? Do I think I'm smart? Do I think I'm beautiful? Do I think I can do pretty much anything if given the right resources? And if your perception of yourself is not up to snuff, you need to do something about that. We need to do something about that. Okay, so number two, changing how you see yourself. You need to become your own hype girl, your own best friend. You need to look in the mirror and smile at all your imperfections, just because this is you are. And you're like a fingerprint, like a snowflake. None of them are the same. You are perfect because you're the only you that God made. Okay. So, number three, are you willing to fail? Are you willing to fail? Being willing to fail is half the battle. Most people don't get anywhere in life because they're afraid to fail. They're afraid of what other people will say if they fail. And so they just choose not to go out on the limb because what if it breaks? What will people say? It just amazes me how much we care about people who, number one, they're probably not thinking about us. And if they are, let's give them something to talk about, right? Let's give them something to talk about because usually the people who are sitting there judging, having something to say about your failure or whatever, they're not anybody you would trade places with because people who have it going on don't have time for that. And when they see someone who is doing well, they're usually the first ones to congratulate, to lend a hand. Okay. And if that's not true in your circle, you might need a different circle, right? So be willing to fail. Hey, Tiadra, how are you, beautiful? Because success is not opposite of failure, they're intertwined. You cannot tell me, I know Patty Payne, with your business, you cannot tell me that a successful business, you haven't had many disappointments, many failures on the way to the top, and sometimes it's going to be hard, but you got to push through hard. Being poor is hard, you know, building a business is hard. Choose your heart. You know what I mean? Focus. FOCUS. Follow one course until successful. So the first question was, what one goal in your business consumes you? That's what you're working on. That's what, if I ask your friend, your family, if I ask them what you're working on, they'll know you're so consumed with it. They know exactly what you're working on because you're always talking about it. Do you have a goal like that? Number two, is your perception of yourself holding you back? Do you think that you're worth it and you're worthy and you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you? Do you have that positive mindset? Because your attitude is going to determine your altitude in business, right? And number three, are you willing to fail? Being willing to fail is half the battle. You have to fail forward to success. You fail forward to success. Number four is, how are you serving others? How are you serving others? Are you giving of yourself? I heard one national sales director say that money is the measure of the pleasure that you send into the lives of others. Money is the measure of the pleasure that you send into the lives of others. Where are you sending pleasure? Mary Kay said it herself. She said, in this business, just pretend that everyone is wearing an invisible sign that says, make me feel special, make me feel important, and move accordingly. Look into her eyes, listen to her, ask questions about her questions, put yourself in her shoes. Let her know how our product or our company can serve her, what it can do for her family, her future. We need to understand and know these things so that we can share. Hey, Terry Caldwell, how are you? So that's number four. How are you serving others? Our acronym for our future area is BOSS, BOS, believing in our life's purpose, overcoming adversity, seeking God's wisdom, and serving others to success. If you believe, you can overcome, and we need to seek and serve. That is the magic. That's the magic recipe for success and joy and peace in your life. Okay? Number and where are you giving? Giving. And the trick is to give out what you want back. Be a good friend if you want good friends. If you want money, give money. So give whatever it is that you desire. So, number five, this is a good one. This is a big one. I'm good, Terry. Thanks for asking. Are you letting your problems of today steal your dreams of tomorrow? Ouch. Are you letting your hard of today, are you letting your struggle of today steal your tomorrow? Y'all, it's always today. And in order to have better todays, we have to make better decisions today, right? So, what's in your life that's just a total struggle? Maybe you hate your job, or maybe you're a single mom, or maybe you're having financial issues, or maybe you're pregnant and having a rough time at it, or maybe I don't know what's going on in your maybe your health. Maybe I've gone through colon cancer a couple of times. I've had health challenges. I've had things. Maybe it's a broken relationship with a child or a parent, or maybe, yeah, I don't know what your heart is. I don't know what your struggle is, but I can tell you that it doesn't get easier. Some of us are waiting for life to get easier. It doesn't get easier. We just get stronger. We get stronger when we do it the right way, when we learn from our lessons, when we go through it with gusto, taking God as your business partner, asking for discernment and direction, doing what you need to do based on the authority of the people that are in your life. Maybe it's your sales director, maybe it's your pastor, maybe, and they are mentoring you, talking to you about what you should do to get to where you want to go. Maybe we need to listen up. So, number 5 is, how are you letting your problems of today steal your dreams for tomorrow? I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. So I'm not going to go to training today. That's just not a good idea. Tired? Tired? No, that's not a good idea. You don't quit when you are tired. You quit when you are finished. So let me just tell you, with your business, pick out the things you're willing to do. Pick out the time you're willing to put in. Get with your mentor. See if the time you're willing to put in and what you want out of it matches up, and put together a schedule. A schedule frees you. When am I going to make my calls? When am I going to meet people? When am I going to hold appointments? You need to know that if you're serious about breaking out, like busting beyond your belief barriers and living the life of your dreams. Okay. Number 6, the number 6 question: how are you filling your cup daily? How are you filling your, I should say, pitcher? How can you fill my cup, your mother's cup, your children's cup, your job's cup? How can you fill my cup if there's nothing in your pitcher? You have to fill yourself first. That is why in the morning, at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm at the gym. Why am I at the gym? Because it helps me. My bones are creaky, my muscles hurt. It helps me. I do that 15 minutes on that treadmill, and the whole time I have a sermon or a podcast on. I do my little workout. I get into that sauna for 15 minutes, and I'm stretching out my neck and my creaky bones and my back and all the things. And I'm deep breathing and I'm praying and meditating. That's for me, so that when I come out of that sauna, I'm a better person for everybody. Trust and believe. So, where do you go to fill your cup? What do you do? Bible study, of course. What are you reading? Leaders are readers. What are you currently reading? I'm not talking about the romance stuff. I'm talking about, where do you see a weakness that you need to work on? Maybe you need to work on communicating, how to be a better communicator. There's a great book called The Aladdin Factor that's really good. There's a great book, the first one that I ever read as a new consultant, and it changed my life. It was the very first self-help book, The Magic of Thinking Big. I suggest that you run, not walk, to your computer, order it. It'll be there tomorrow, the next day. The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. Also, Think and Grow Rich. Awesome. And these are just going to get in your mental and help you to think differently than you think now, and differently than the people around you. If you are self-employed, you own your own business, you're not going to think like other people that work all day and don't have any desire to work for themselves. You're not going to do it. And when you start your own thing, you're going to work harder at that than at anything if you're going to be successful, right? But it's a different kind of work. It is like so fulfilling. So get you a book. Start walking, exercising, stretching, whatever you need to do to get that checkup from the neck up and stop that stinking thinking. Hang around people who lift you up, not people who are whining and talking about somebody and done somebody wrong and blaming people for where they are in their lives. We have to stop the blame game, because if you're blaming people for where you are, oh, my ex, or I got a divorce, or it's the this person did me wrong, or this job did me wrong, or you just have to take the total blame, because when you take total blame, it empowers you to change things. It empowers you to see things differently. When you look at things differently, they become different. And so stop waiting for that other person to change or that situation to change before you move. A lot of times, God's not going to change that situation. He's not going to change that person because He's changing you. He is making you into the person He needs you to be to step up to the next level to do the work that He has you to do on a whole different level. So recognize, you better recognize and believe that if we spend half of the time that we spend blaming other people or trying to change other people on improving ourselves, our lives would be 100% different. So, what do you think about that? Any comments, any thoughts, any questions? I'm happy to answer any questions if they come through while I'm on. I felt like, I don't know why this is doing this. I felt like we needed to have this discussion. Because, and a lot of times when I do these things for me. But y'all, there's a whole big old world out there. There's amazing things out there for you to experience, for you to have for yourself and your family. But you can't let what's happening in your life dictate your future. So make the decisions. Those who show up, go up. Be at training, be a sponge. Know what the next step is. Write out a plan, a plan. Write it down and make it plain. Okay, definitely. With all of that being said, that is all I have for you today. I'm going to recap the 6 questions before I let you go. Question to ask yourself, number 1: what is my one goal in business that consumes me? If you can't answer that, come up with the answer to that. The one thing you're working on, the one thing you're going to talk about, pray about, one thing you're going to tell everybody you're working on. What is the one goal in business that consumes you is number 1. Number 2, is your perception of yourself holding you back? Are you speaking kind words to yourself? Are you on your own best friend? We are controlled by the perception of ourselves, by how we see ourselves. How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself like you lift up other people that you see? They're all of this. Are you speaking those words of life into yourself? Yes. Uh, Number 3, are you willing to fail? Being willing to fail is half the battle. That's part of it. Part of getting to success is being willing to put yourself out there, put your heart out there, lay it all on the line. That's number 3. Number 4, how are you serving others? How are you serving others? How are you giving? How are you serving? Through this business, I love it because we get to serve people. The product is just a vehicle to get us in front of people, to build relationships, to hear her story, to see how we can help her, whether it's on the outside beauty or the inside heart, self confidence, self esteem. Number 5, are you letting your problems of today steal your dreams for tomorrow? Are you letting them stop you from doing what you need to do to get where you're supposed to go? Number 6, are you filling your cup daily? And with what, right? Where do you get your motivation and inspiration? Hopefully, you're reading. Hopefully, you're hanging out with successful people. Hopefully, you got something going on. You should wake up in the morning excited. And if you're not excited, take a few minutes before you hit the floor to get yourself hyped, crunk, and excited. So if there's something you're dreading, instead of saying, I have to do it, I get to do it. Thank you, Lord. Because He says to thank Him in all things, be joyful in all situations, good, bad, ugly, and understand and realize that everything is working together for your good, for your good and his glory, y'all. Let's be amazing together. Let's shoot for the stars. I'm counting on you, Banks believers and friends, to just knock it out of the park. We have 2 weeks left in this month. You got this. You can do this. Thank you so much for coming and supporting. Please, if you're on YouTube, subscribe to our channel and share this. It is, what is my YouTube? Boss Lady Banks 1. All right. Love you guys. Go forth and multiply. Bye-bye.